is Jenny, and I'm a wife and mom raising 2 kids. But I used to live a more glamorous life as a TV reporter. I was on the nightly news interviewing pop stars and politicians. So when I said goodbye to TV and hello to motherhood, I suddenly discovered what we moms are up against. We live in a world that tells us to be rich and famous, thin and successful. You know, almost nobody says,
oh hey, you're a mom? That's fabulous. But you are fabulous, and I'm here to tell you why.
It's the Channelmom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
We were born to embrace, not accepted. We were given nothing more.
You are listening to the Channelmom Show, where we are celebrating you on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510, FM 93.7. I'm going to invite you to call because I think you might want to. I know we've got some moms out there, and I received some messages on Facebook about moms who are struggling with this issue of sending their kids off to kindergarten or college. And it was really hard. I mean, I was one of those moms who drove away bawling. I mean, were you?
Only once with my youngest.
Oh, with your youngest. I bawled for both of them. But I had an oldest and a youngest. So you had like the middle one that like evened it all out for you.
I don't know what it was. I think I was kind of excited for the other two. And then the youngest went, to me, it felt like the end of mommy, the beginning of the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, you and I were both stay-at-home moms. So, yeah. Ugh. It was even hard for me this time. I dropped her off at 3rd grade and I was crying.
No, I can't say I'm there. I'm actually ready for them to go because they're getting on each other's nerves now and they need some time apart. I never wanted to be that mom, though, but that's where I am right now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, at least you're being honest. But we do have some help coming up for your watering eyes and your aching heart. Although first I want to admit something to you. I try to look young, like a lot of moms do. I've been doing it for years. I think most of us still would really like to look young and gorgeous as moms. We don't want to look like haggard moms. It's not an easy thing, and I don't want to make any promises to my fellow moms about how easy it is. But for the last 8 weeks or so, probably about 9 now, I've been trying the products of Therapon Skin Health. They're a sponsor. I really like them. I'll admit that people have told me that they've noticed that my skin looks different, and for my 47 years makes it look younger than it is. And here's the thing I like about Therapon Skin Health and why I trust the science behind it. It just so happens that the doctor who founded Therapon discovered a unique formula for aging skin when he was treating severe burn patients, which I love. Totally noble thing he was doing. For years, Dr. James Beckman helped burn victims to renew their damaged skin on hands and so on to make it add more mobility. And he found out that doing that, renewing the skin there, would help aging skin. So, as a Channel Mom sponsor, Therapon is inviting our listeners to visit channelmom.com and get a huge discount when you click on the Therapon ad there. So you should go and try out their stuff because you get a very big discount just through us. Alrighty. A lot of moms are crying this month all across the country as they watch their daughters and sons walk away from the car and into the distance. These children could be 5 years old or 18 years old, but they're walking into a world that is very different and very far from their mothers. I call it the kindergarten to college syndrome, and it's hitting a lot of my friends in a big way right now. Some moms are taking their babies to kindergarten. Others are dropping them off at college. And these are some of the single hardest milestones in a mom's life. So today we've got some comfort and advice from a counselor who knows how it feels. Kim Spese is a counselor in the Jefferson County School District. And Kim, I understand you just dropped your daughter off at college. Is that right?
I did. I just dropped her off 2 days ago.
And how'd you do?
Well, this is my second one.
Okay.
So I did better than my first one. But, it's always tough. It is always a very, very difficult process.
It is. And welcome to the show, by the way. We're glad to have you. Yeah. Tell me why. I mean, what were the feelings you had on the first one? Why did you say you didn't do so well on the first one?
Well, she's my oldest, and I think that, I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to do. It was a new experience. It was huge change. And I cried days.
Oh.
And I wouldn't go into her bedroom for about 6 months. It was very, very weird.
Yeah.
But I did embrace it because it's an exciting time for them, and if you've had that experience, you really want them to really enjoy the whole process and the transition and the huge milestone that they have in going to college. And so this one, I was so excited. We went through the process together and dropped her off. It was a huge day. And I got back into my job when I came back, and I don't know, I might have issue in the next couple weeks. I don't know.
It's the bedroom thing. I was talking to somebody last night at a party who said the bedroom seems a little empty.
It is weird, and I actually have not gone in her bedroom yet. So I will get there. I will get there. I have a younger daughter who is really, really struggling with the empty house. So my concentration really has been on her.
Sure. And you were a stay-at-home mom for years, and I applaud you for that, by the way.
I was.
Yeah. And I think that I mean, I don't think it necessarily is any harder for a stay-at-home mom than one who's been working, but I think there is a weirdness about that because this has been your workplace, and this has been the place that has been your life and their life together ever since they came into the world. And suddenly they're not there with you.
Absolutely. I think that, when we talk about milestones, that really represents the emotional investment that you have in your child. I mean, you've really put everything into that child, and you have celebrated their accomplishments. It's a personal, really, acknowledgement of your success as a parent. And when they leave, it's this loss of your soul. I mean, it's all the work and nurturing, and they're leaving. So that loss really creates grief, and grief really is experienced differently by each person, at very different times. So you might leave the university after dropping off your son and daughter and not be affected, but maybe 6 months later, you'll find something, a picture, some trigger that will just really emotionally set you off. So it is a process for everyone involved in the family.
Okay. And it is normal, I guess, that what you're saying, both to either just break down or to not feel anything for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think some, especially mothers, feel guilty if they don't cry.
Yeah.
And don't get emotional. But, it's just like if you've ever lost anybody in your life, people experience grief at different times. There's a great transition book by William Bridges. I just say this really quickly because he talks about the managing of transitions. And there's, 3 phases that you usually go through. And this is everybody in the family. This isn't just the daughter or son who's going off to college. This is the moms, the fathers, the siblings. Right. The first phase is that letting go, that dealing with the loss and the end. And that can be experienced at different times with each person in the family. So when you lose something or you're getting ready to lose something, a lot of times we withdraw. And you can see your child, they might be withdrawing, or maybe they're arguing, or spending a lot of time away from you right before they go because they're dealing with, it's easier if I just kind of shut everything off from my life because then I can walk away and it won't hurt so much. And we as parents do the same thing because we might be, when we leave a job or we leave a home and move into another home. So that's that first process. And then the second process is really called the neutral zone, and that's when you're really accepting that change. This is a really critical time because you're re-engaging your thought process, realigning your thought process and what you're saying to yourself. I've made the right decision. I'm going to be okay. It's a safe environment. Parents are like, we've, encouraged our kids. We've brought them up. They're going to be all right. Yeah. So it's that time where you're really readjusting your thought pattern. And then it's the new beginning. So a lot of times you'll see students in the new beginning way before the parents are at the new beginning. And so it causes a lot of conflict within the home before they go away to college.
Yeah. By the way, we're talking to Kim Spese, a counselor at Conifer High School, and man, you have fabulous advice. I did get a Facebook question from a mom, or she talked about it, from up in my area, who said that her daughter is struggling with going to kindergarten, that the transition is harder on the child. What about that?
Well, it can be really tough. I mean, it's scary. It's scary that you feel safe at home. You feel safe with your parents. All of a sudden, you're going to be going to a new environment with new people. Change is tough, and I think just with the kindergarten, and I've done it with all 3 of my daughters. It's just being there, when they get done with that. It's spending time with them. It's encouraging them. There's a lot of great books that you can read to your children about going to kindergarten and that change.
Sure. And so what should that mom do? Just to tell them that is not a bad thing, that they can be safe there as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I said the same thing to my daughter going off to college. It's a safe environment. You're leaving a safe environment for another safe environment, because really college is a safe environment, because you've got your, you're going to your classes, you've got your dorm room, you've got your, your stuffed animals from home.
Yeah, sure.
So, there is that feeling of safety. Same thing going to school. I think once the student goes to kindergarten, it's exciting to go to kindergarten, but they know that you're going to be there when they get out of kindergarten.
Right. We've got 3 or 4 minutes left, so I want to make sure that we get to a couple more things. What are some techniques that we can use either before? I mean, I already tear up, and my children are 12 and 8, and I already tear up thinking about them going to college. And I'm really attached to them, and there's a part of me that just wants to be a cold, hard mom and just say, okay, whatever, just go on, enjoy your life. And I want to figure out a way to cope. And one of the things that has occurred to me is, well, what am I preparing them for? Am I preparing them to be coddled and stay with me for the rest of their lives, or am I preparing them to go out into the world and make a difference and do the right thing? And gosh, if I never let them go, they're never going to do anything good for the world. So, well, not entirely, too. They can do some good things from home, too. But you know what I mean? What are some coping techniques that we can use to get us through this and prepare us for it?
Well, I think as a parent, getting involved in your own self too is really important. So, I mean, I love to exercise. I joined a quilting group, a book. Maybe it's a book club. Getting involved in your church. So, really investing time in yourself is really important. And then, really to teach your children to advocate for themselves. I think that is one of the most important things that you can do in preparing your children to go away from college is teaching them to advocate. So when I say this, and I'm saying this as a parent, have your children really start to take care of themselves in high school, which means maybe they're changing their own schedule or going to their teacher to negotiate and advocate a grade. Whatever that looks like, help them, coach them, give them the skills so that when they go to college, they are going to be successful in whatever situation they get into, and they can handle it themselves. Not that they won't call you on the phone, but I think when you can model and role play and help them to establish those skills, they're going to be way better off as young adults.
Okay, and we have a really quick question for you from Corey. So, Corey, go ahead with your question.
Hi, Kim. I just dropped my first child at college last week, and I just want to know how to stop trying to micromanage her life.
And by the way,
for example, she had me log into her college email account to take care of some financial things that basically they don't mail things anymore. They're all emailed. So I was doing that, and I couldn't help but notice she had unopened emails that said important things like you have to print out your schedule prior to this day because they expect computers to crash the first day when all the kids go to print out their schedules. So it's hard for me to not do that, and I'm sure that Monday I'll say, did you print out your schedule? Did you go to class? And I know I need to stop that, and I don't know how.
Right, tough love. It's a tough thing to do, and I understand because the financial part is so important, and all those things are so important. But I have not talked to my daughter. I have given myself 48 hours before I'll pick up the phone and call her. So, I know it's tough. I know it's hard, but they've got to start managing this stuff on their own. And believe me, you can't call a professor because they won't call you back.
Right.
They just won't. So it's coach her through it. I mean, that's about all you can do right now, is coach her through what she needs to be doing. And it's hard not to micromanage, I know, because you've been doing it, a long time. And so I would just say, here's some things that you need to do and be done with that.
Right, and then let go.
Yep.
Hey, thank you to Corey. That was a great question. And thank you so much to you, Kim. We're so blessed to have you today. Thanks for all your great advice.
Okay,
all right,
great.
Take care.
Good luck.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
You're listening to the Channel Mom Show, where we are celebrating you, Mom, on Mile High Sports Radio, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Now, next, for the transition from summer to school, if you're feeling stressed out, our next guest is an expert on the issue of stress. She has tips that are heard around the world, and maybe it's because they are so effective. She's even got a 3-minute technique to get rid of physical pain. Lauren Miller up next.